What is your name, please?
My name is Jake Bellamy.
My name is Jake Bellamy.
My name is Jake Bellamy.
Only one of these people is the real Jake Bellamy. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth. To Tell the Truth is brought to you this evening by Anacin, the headache tablet to relieve pain, so relax tension, calm nerves. Anacin. And now, here's our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth. A good evening, panel.
Hey, good evening to you, Bud.
Open up that envelope, if you will, in front of you and follow along with this first story. I, Jake Bellamy, must first of all admit that Jake Bellamy is not my real name. Actually, it is the pen name under which I write a monthly column in the women's fashion magazine, Glamour. I am wearing this mask because neither the magazine nor I want my 1.5 million readers to know what I actually look like. In my column, I emphasize what I consider the man's eye view of the problems confronting today's teenage girls and young married women. I touch on a wide range of topics, including how to give and receive compliments, what type of girl should wear a bikini, and how a young lady should go about getting a young man to ask her for a date. Recently, I devoted one of my columns to a personality test in the form of a psychological questionnaire. It drew over 12,000 letters. Most of my readers don't even know if I am a man or a woman. That question will be answered when I stand up after voting on tonight's program. Signed, Jake Bellamy. Panel, these three persons all claim to be Jake Bellamy. We'll start the questioning, if we may, with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, what happens if when you get up and take your hat off, you really are a girl under all that? Because we can't tell from here.
I'll be surprised.
Number two, you're a lady, I presume, Jake Bellamy. What was the form of the psychological questions that you asked in your questionnaire?
Number two?
Number two, yes, I'm sorry. Number two.
They were rapid-fire relationship questions.
Thank you. Number three, do you have any people that write into you all the time?
Yes, we get numerous letters, 150 a week.
Thank you.
Peggy Cass.
Number three, I'd like to know how one goes about getting a mature man to ask you out on a date. Not too young. I mean, I'm not too young myself. What would your answer be to that three?
Drop me a line.
I will. Number one, is your column not sort of a column on manners, actually?
No, it's everything.
Number two, do you think would Jake Bellamy, the real Jake Bellamy, think that it would be all right to entertain a man alone in your apartment, or, have a steak dinner and all like that there, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Unchaperoned. That's the day of the chaperone is over?
Orson Bean.
Well, number three, now, you presumably write a column which is the man's eye view of problems. Now, but it is meant to be read by young ladies, is that right?
That is correct.
Now, what do they care what your man's eye view is? I mean, do they write to you in order to find out what your opinion is? Is that what it means?
No, I think rather they use me as a sounding board.
All right. Now, number one, who should wear a bikini? Is it just these skinny little girls? If a lady maybe has kind of dowager's hump or something, sure, I admit that you have to draw the line somewhere. But who should wear a bikini?
Thin girls.
Now, I happen to believe that the bikini...
Kitty Carlisle. Now, I myself, I don't want to go into the details of...
Number two, presumably you are a woman. How do you get the man's point of view? Do you have a husband?
Yes.
Does he tell you what to write?
He doesn't know. I think a woman knows what a man's thinking and how a man thinks better than a man does himself.
Oh, really?
Sure
number one, how should one accept a compliment? Number one?
Gracefully.
Well, I mean, how? Do you say thank you or, oh...
That's it. Time for you now to mark your ballots. So please do so. Vote without any consultation whatsoever and without changing your ballot once you have marked it. Vote now for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Of course, the team of challengers will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. Are all ballots marked?
Oh, yes.
Yes, they are. Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, I voted for number 1 on the strength of the way the questions were answered, not by playing the game. I don't see why they would put somebody named Jake Bellamy on unless it were a girl. And number 3, if he had been the real Jake Bellamy, he would have told Peggy that she was too still young when she said she wasn't, because she is.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, now
Peggy
me.
Cass.
Well, I voted for number 1 because, boy, number 2, I don't think that girls know what men are thinking. They are a mystery cloaked in an enigma to me. And I thought 1 was very snappy. Well, that's the way I feel, that's all.
Orson B.
A mystery cloaked in an enigma.
That's a very...
Can't take you anywhere. I voted for number 1 on the grounds that his mask is very attractive, and if I were a young, beautiful girl, he could take me out. I don't know why.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 2 because I do believe that quite often ladies know more about what a man is thinking. At least they know it before he knows it. And so I voted for number 2.
Did you hear that basso masculine groan from the audience?
All right, the votes are in. Excuse me, and the minds are solidly made up. We'll now find out which of these 3 persons is, in truth, Jake Bellamy. Will the real Jake Bellamy please stand up? Oh, you're really serious about not taking off his mask, eh?
Well, I couldn't be more serious in the world, bud.
All right. Well, now, number 2, will you tell us who you really are?
I'm Tom Poston's sister.
Gosh, my older sister on the show. How dare you say that women know what men are thinking better than they do, of all.
Rosalie Cassou is from Seabrook, Maryland, and her husband, Bert, is an officer of the Riggs National Bank in Washington, D.C. Surprised you a bit, didn't we, Tom?
I should say so.
All right, well, now, just for the fun of it, do any of the 4 of you know who number 3 might be?
Otto Preminger.
All right, then number 3, will you tell us who you really are?
I'm Peggy Cass's brother.
Hey! You! You're the one who said I wasn't young anymore.
I didn't say that. I said write me a letter.
Boy, we've been sitting on top of this one, I tell you, trying to keep it quiet for so long. Jerry Cass is the field sales manager for Mallory Battery Company, and we're awfully glad that both of you could come and really stump our so-called experts over here in their own particular way, sort of after the game. And in checking the score, we find, of course, that there was 1 incorrect vote in spite of everything, and that's worth $250 to you. Thanks again, all of you, and I hope your masked column is a great success. Goodbye, and God bless you. Meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Algernon Greaves.
My name is Algernon Greaves.
My name is Algernon Greaves.
Follow along with your copies of this one, if you will, please, panel. I, Algernon Greaves, am the verger of one of the most famous churches in the world, England's Westminster Abbey. I am called a verger because I carry a silver rod called a verge, which in ancient times was used to push aside crowds to make way for religious processions. Today, in addition to certain ceremonial duties, much of my time is spent in helping the dean of the abbey guide important visitors through the historic church. Every coronation from William the Conqueror in 1066 to Elizabeth II in 1953 has taken place in the Abbey. It is also the burial place of many English monarchs, as well as scores of Britain's greatest writers, statesmen, and scientists. Westminster Abbey is the usual setting for royal weddings, and both Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret were married there. It took 837 years to complete Westminster Abbey, and this year it will be 900 years old. Signed, Algernon Greaves. These three gentlemen all claim to be Algernon Greaves, as you heard. We'll start the cross-examination with Peggy Cass. Peggy.
Thank you. Mr. Greaves, number 2. Is John Milton buried in the Poets' Corner?
Oh, no.
Thank you. Number 3, you know that they found the little princess in the leaden coffin last year? Did they bury her in Westminster? Anne, I believe her name was. Was she buried in Westminster Abbey?
No, she was buried in St. Paul's.
Thank you. Number 1, is William Pitt buried in Westminster Abbey?
He's not buried there, but there is a plaque erected.
I see. And what about number 3 of Fox? Is he?
No, he's not buried. Again, there's a plaque to him.
I see. Number 2, is there, I suppose there's a big plaque up for William the Conqueror. Is he buried in Westminster Abbey? I can't find anybody that's buried there so far.
No, he was a Baptist.
William the Conqueror.
Orson Bean.
Number 3, are there any Irishmen in there?
Oh, yes, quite a few.
Dead ones, I mean. Yes? Like who?
Well, there was George Canning.
Yeah?
He's buried there.
Oh, well, I suppose
Well, he's one of the famous ones.
Oh, of course, I talking about him the other day. Number 1, in the old days, when you lot had made us a colony, and we used to fall asleep on a given Sunday when the church service lasted all day, there was fellas like you that used to give a rap on the head. What was that stick called? Do you know? That was it, huh? That was the same thing?
That's it, the bed.
Boy, that would wake you up or put you to sleep again, huh? Number 2, is Sir Winston buried there?
Oh, no, he's not buried there, no.
Oh, that's right, of course he isn't.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 1, how do you get to be a verger?
You generally apply when the position becomes vacant.
Number 3, what do you do when you're not a verger?
Well, I'm a verger all the time.
Is this a 9-to-5 job?
Well, even longer.
Number 1, was William the Conqueror Baptist?
Not really, no.
Number 3, can you tell me some of the writers who are buried in Westminster Abbey? No.
Tom Poston. I don't mean he's buried in Westminster Abbey. I'm glad he's not. Tom.
Thank you. No, number 2, you're a devil, you know, number 2. Number 1, I'd like to ask you what the difference in these costumes is to a verger. Are they all legitimate verger costumes in Westminster Abbey?
Are you addressing me?
Yes, sir.
This costume or robe is generally worn on low ceremonial occasions.
Tell me, number 2.
Sorry.
Do you still use that verge to hold back crowds? Does the occasion ever come up?
Not really, no. We're a bit too respectable for that now. Not necessarily.
And that's it. Time for you to mark your respectable ballots. So mark them at once, without change, without any consultation, and without talking it over any more than you have so far.
One of those guys stole my
Vote for
crayon.
number 1,
Don't go up in your rocket ship.
number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked?
That's fine.
Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. You can't see it really too well at home, but when he was asked some questions, he colored up just beautifully. He looked like a Canadian sunset there, so I thought maybe that he was just one of those fresh-faced, highly complexioned young men that could be a verger in Westminster Abbey.
Peggy Cass.
Well, number 2 seems such a wag, too much of a wag for Westminster. So I voted for number 3 because, you know something? He looks very good, as though he'd be around Westminster Abbey. He looks like a very good person.
Orson Bean.
They're all great. They should have their own show. Anyway, but number 1, I don't think if you hit anyone on the head with that thing, it used to be a long wooden stick with a knob on the end of it, but that would have made fewer pilgrims than there were, I think. That's it. And number 2, as Peggy says, is a wag. I voted, however, for number 3. I think Make it
Kitty.
I voted for number one. I think that number one has a proper attitude to usher distinguished guests through Westminster Abbey.
Very well, the votes are all in and the minds are made up. Now let's find out which one of these three gentlemen, in truth, is Algernon Greaves. Will the real Algernon Greaves please stand up?
I'm glad. Number two, do you know Kenneth Tynan? Do you know Kenneth Tynan?
Oh, rather, yes.
Yeah, I figured you were brothers.
You drink the same water, you know.
Number one, what is your real name and what do you really do, sir?
My name is Charles McGuire, and I'm presently unemployed.
Number three, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Eric Lloyd, and I work in the editorial department of the Wall Street Journal.
Well, in checking the scores, I'm sure you've already done, they were all incorrect votes. 4 of them times $250 for a total of $1,000, gentlemen. And we thank you very much for giving us a very bright moment or two. Good night, and God bless you. Now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Michele Ray.
My name is Michele Ray.
My name is Michele Ray.
Follow along again, panel, if you will. I, Michele Ray, with 3 other French girls, have just completed a 4.5-month trip in 2 small automobiles from Tierra del Fuego at the southern tip of South America to Alaska. In many places, we avoided the relatively civilized Pan-American highway and at one point struck out on a 1,000-mile side trip through the dangerous Brazilian and Bolivian wastelands. For protection, we carried a rifle and revolver, but never had to use them, even though we once ran through a barricade manned by bandits. On 10 occasions, we were forced to unload both cars completely in order to haul them out of the mud. I developed my driving skill, my endurance, and my ability to survive under the worst possible conditions as a high-fashion model in Paris. Signed, Michele Ray. All right, these 3 young ladies all claim to be Michele Ray. I will ask you all to phrase your questions slowly enough so that the language barrier will not be a hindrance. We'll start with Orson Bean. Orson?
I could speak in French.
By all means, do.
Number 3, Miss Ray, number 3. Did you go through all of the countries of South America on your trip?
Not all.
Yes. Did you go through Argentina?
No.
You did not. Number 1, did you go through Argentina?
Yes, I did go to Argentina.
I often hear that Buenos Aires is the Paris of South America. Is this true?
We had a very gay time.
And is it true that you can buy French clothes cheap down there?
No,
gowns?
well, we had a little with us, and that was enough.
Oh, you carried your own gowns. Number 2, what kind of a car did you drive in?
What kind of?
Of car.
Oh, we have 2 little Renault 4L.
2 little Renaults.
Yeah.
Oh, those sweet little things.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, how much water do you have to go over on this trip?
I don't understand you.
Like, did you have to go by ferry across any lakes or rivers? Did you go across water at any time?
Combien de l'eau?
Oh, 3 times. 3 times.
3 times. 3 times. Number 2, what costume did you drive in?
Oh, for winter in Tierra del Fuego, we have parka, you know, and in Brazil, we have only blue jean and skirt.
Number 1, what were the bandits like?
Tom Poston. I don't mean they were like Tom Poston. No, I'm getting confused with this tonight. Tom.
Thank you. But number 1, what about those bandits? How many were there that manned this barricade?
Well, it was at night time. We just saw a few, 6 or 7 running away.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough for me. Did you ever have to fire your guns, number 3?
1 time.
At what?
Where a bandit attacked.
You're kidding? That's terrible. I'm glad you're here. Number 3, where did you go from Tierra del Fuego coming north if you didn't go through Argentina?
I don't understand.
Peggy Cass.
I can't help you.
Number 2, about this bandit. Did he shoot at you?
Oh, yes.
He did. You mean bandit. Number 1, in which country did this bandit shoot at you?
In Paraguay.
In Paraguay. Well, the tourist officer will be glad to hear that. Number 3, in Paris, do you model for a house?
Yes, for Chanel.
For Chanel, oh. And number 2, did you sleep in, how did you sleep on this trip?
Oh, when we find hotel, you know, we sleep in hotel, and when we don't find, we sleep in the car.
And that's all the time we have. So, unlimber your ballots and mark them, panel, if you will, please. Vote at once, without change, without any consultation. Just vote for the one you think is the real one. Make it number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked. Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1, Bud. Just for reasons because they're all beautiful, but I think the other 2 are my sisters.
Peggy, which one do you think it is?
Well, I voted for number 3. Usually high fashion models are very tall, but lately they've been using little girls, and she's very cute and little.
Orson.
They're all charming, but I can't imagine. Number 3 said the bandits were running away. It seems unlikely. Nevertheless, I voted for her.
And Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 3. I have the feeling she looks like she's got the kind of determination that would do this sort of a trip.
So the votes are all in and the minds are made up. Michele's 3 traveling companions are here in the studio tonight and are going to help us by picking her out. So here they come. That was very, very nicely done, believe me. Wow, I tell you. Would you do the trip again?
Yes, of course.
You enjoyed it?
Yes, very enjoyed.
Now, will you just fly back to Paris?
Yes, we fly
here?
back in 1 week to Paris with the car. We have 2 cars, you know, in the fly.
You'll take the cars with you?
Yes, of course.
But you couldn't very well drive them back, could you? Who did most of the driving?
Oh, all the 4, you know. We drive all the 4, yes.
Divided it up. Yes, Tom, did you
Well, I see that they have not a costume. You wouldn't call it a costume exactly, but the coats are similar. Does Michele also have a coat like that?
Yes, of course.
You wore the same costumes when you appeared in public?
Yes, you know, and when a friend goes in a restaurant with us, it's just like a college girl, you know, all the
Yes. Thank you very much. It was a great deal of fun. Now, let's find out about your 2 friends here. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm Françoise de Spirlet, and I'm the wife of the executive vice president of the Belgian line, steamship line.
And number 3, you got most of the votes. What is your real name and what do you do?
I am Danielle Mauroy, and I am a wig maker.
A wig maker? Well, for the second time tonight, I'm happy to tell you that there were 4 incorrect votes. That's 4 times $250 for a total of $1,000 that you get to take with you. And we thank you very much. It was a beautiful spot. Thank you for that. Good night and God bless you. Well, that's all we have time for tonight, but it was a lot of fun. It really was. A lot of family and a lot of fun. Good night to you, and I'll see you next week.
Good night.
And good night to all of you. Oh, see you what am I talking about? Tomorrow. See you tomorrow, too, and see you next week, and then tomorrow on the daytime show. In the meantime, please don't forget to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Anacin, a headache tablet to relieve pain. So relax tension, calm nerves. Anacin. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth. The program was pre-recorded.